Ogtv News. Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit launches manhunt for perpetrators of illicit sale of forex to fund terrorism. Over 4.6 million Nigerians so far vaccinated against COVID-19. Al-Shabaab jihadist group claims responsibility as car bomb explosion kills 8 people in Somalia. 15-year-old Gilberto Vinales dies after crash in Supersport 300 race in Spain. The price of greatness is responsibility. You're welcome. This is Ogtv News. I am Mojisola Sholaja. Diplomats and delegates to the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly have described Nigeria's outing at the global stage as successful and impressive. President Buhari's address in particular, they say, is one that not only touches the crux of major global concerns, but prefers remedy measures for sustainable peace and security. It was the 7th time President Muhammadu Buhari will be taking the floor of the United Nations General Assembly, the largest gathering of world leaders since coming into power in 2015. His address, virtually for Africa, lasting for about 20 minutes, clearly summarized major global and continental concerns, their implications, and the critical pathway towards addressing them, including recovering battered economies, rescuing the planet, and restoring hope to the people.
Take over of power, sometimes in reaction to unilateral changes of constitution by some leaders, must not be tolerated by the international community.
His statement was very, very well delivered and was also extremely well received. He really ticked all the boxes, addressed all the major issues, stating Nigeria's position towards a more peaceful and a more prosperous and a healthy world, and I think it shows the stature of Mr. President and where he has put Nigeria in the global community.
Nigeria, as has always been the case, and Buhari has made it very clear, cannot talk only about itself. It must talk also on behalf of West Africa and on behalf of Africa. And on behalf of the developing world, Nigeria has the capacity to be even-handed. It's not siding anyone, it's siding with what is right.
Mr. President was very concise, very precise. He mentioned a wide range of issues, and every single one of them is quite topical. And I just pray and believe that at the end of the day, that the nations who form members of United Nations will take what he has said on board.
And shortly after his address, the Nigerian leader was warmly received by the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The UN chief scribe worried that Africa, generally seen as an ocean of stability and good governance, is now witnessing reversal of fortunes in democratic rule, with coup overturning elected institutions. He therefore urged President Muhammadu Buhari to continue to show leadership as the United Nations look up to Nigeria to help stabilize the continent, especially the West African sub-region, in terms of democracy and good governance. President Buhari has since departed New York for Nigeria. The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency says 4,618,000 Nigerians have so far been vaccinated against COVID-19. The Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, disclosed this during the South-South Zonal Town Hall meeting on COVID-19 vaccination in Benin on Saturday. The Town Hall meeting was organized by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 in collaboration with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the Edo government. Shuaib noted that out of the 4,680,000 vaccinated Nigerians, about 1,008,000 865,125 were fully vaccinated with 2 doses. It stated that the figure was below the nation's target, adding that the threats posed by the virus could prevent the country from returning to normal living. According to the minister, records have shown that over 90% of deaths recorded from COVID-19 are from unvaccinated persons. Residents of Ogun State have been urged to make cleaning of the environment paramount as this will chase communicable diseases away from the state. They've also been told to patronize the PSP operators for effective refuse evacuation. Special advisor to the governor on the state of the state and environment, Ola Oresonya, gave this advice while on inspection during the September edition of the State Environmental Sanitation Exercise. Tunde Olaniro reports.
Healthy environment also prevents diseases and encourages socio-economic development. Observing the Ogun State September Environmental Sanitation Exercise, the team from the Ministry of Environment visited Iyanoijigo, all in Abeokuta South Local Government. Other places visited are Arakonga, Abatoa, Idofi, Mokola dump sites, where the state government promised to evacuate the dump sites. At every location visited by the inspection team, Special Advisor to the Governor on Environment, Ola Oresonya, met with the community development associations in the areas, urging them to take ownership of the environment.
We've gone around and we've seen the environmental infractions from waste management to public hygiene, toilets, to street trading, and also to drainage challenges. And we went to most of the abattoirs, and where we believe that when it comes to disease spreading and the rest of it, you can trace that to food that we eat. And the abattoirs and the lairage, there are areas where you can incubate diseases and that you can spread easily. So that's why we went to those areas to see that we have an optimal level of hygiene at those areas.
The essence of the inspection, according to him, is to sensitize the people of the state on the need to ensure a clean environment.
The community desires of a better service, and we are determined to give them that better service, to improve on the service. One thing you acknowledge is that, yes, the service is already being put there by the government. So there's a waste collection system put there by the government. The local government is aware of it, but we need to make sure that this structure that we put in place is effective. It's not just enough to put a structure. The next thing is to make sure the structure is effective. And that's the essence of what we're doing, to make sure that the PSP deliver optimally to the people. And even when people have to pay, you can see that they are ready to pay for the service, but the service must be there.
The inspection was not without the presence of leadership of the local government.
The community is responding well. You understand? Most of the things that we came here to educate them on, you find out that it's just a little bit of lack of education and lack of commitment on the part of the PSP. And now we've been able to tell the PSP to be more effective for the people. So we expect to see more effectiveness within them and more collaboration with the Ministry of Environment.
Every last Saturday of the month is set aside for environmental sanitation exercise in Ogun State. Tunde Olaniro, Ogtv News.
To bring back the communal spirit and inculcate a sense of serene environment awareness into the citizenry, the Ogun Youth Advocate for Social Development, through the Office of the First Lady, led its members to Lafenwa Market in Abeokuta to observe this month's environmental sanitation exercise. Adebola Oshomoji reports.
The need for improving healthy environment necessitated the monthly sanitation exercise by the Ogun State government to combat poor sanitation, resulting to the widespread of diseases among the citizens. It is on this fact that the Ogun Youth Advocate for Social Development, through the Office of the First Lady of the State, deem it fit to advocate the need for serene environment. The team, led by its president, Comrade Oluseyi Alamu, and the board chairman, Alhaji Aziz Ibrahim, observed this month's environmental sanitation exercise in Lafenwa Market, Abeokuta. According to Comrade Oluseyi Alamu and other members, the need for the exercise was born out of passion in complementing government's effort towards achieving its agenda.
We have been doing it before, and we are doing it again to ensure our environment is very clean. We really appreciate Her Excellency, the wife of the state governor, for her support to make it reality.
Market Environmental Sanitation Task Force, with some market women, expressed satisfaction for the kind gesture exhibited by the organization.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ yòókù bá ti rí àwọn ẹni ó di dandan kán náà kan fara wọn kalẹ̀ kan dìde láti lè ní pé ohun táwọn ọ̀dọ́ wọn yòókù ń ṣe ohun tó dáa ni Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ bá mi fi sí wọn ní ọkàn láti lè ní pé kán ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun f'Ogun State.
Ṣùgbọ́n ó jẹ́ ìwúrí fún wa torí tó bá tí gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ àtàwọn abarapátá bá lè máa ṣerú nǹkan báyìí mo mọ̀ pé ìlú ò ní máa dọ̀tí wọ́n gbìyànjú gan.
Ogun Youth Advocate for Social Development is a non-governmental organization aimed at promoting youth development for the betterment of the society. Adebola Oshomoji, Ogtv News.
Activities marking the 2021 National Day celebration in Ogun State continue on Sunday, September 26, with an interdenominational church service at the Cathedral of St. Peter, Abeokuta, beginning from 10 in the morning. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Alhaji Abdul Wahid Udushile, a special parade featuring members of the armed forces, the police, labor and trade union groups, children from schools across the state will hold on Friday, 1st October 2021 at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Kuto, Abeokuta, as part of the grand finale, marking the end of the celebration. The state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, urges all Nigerians, especially residents of Ogun State, to embrace peace and work for the progress of the country, noting that no nation can become great without sacrifice by its citizens. Governor Abiodun added that Nigeria is a great country and will be greater if all its citizens reject ethnic and political divisions, religious bigotry and sectionalism. The 2021-2022 legal year will be marked in Ogun State with simultaneous services at both the Central Mosque, Kobiti Abeokuta, and the Cathedral of St. Peter, Abeokuta on Monday, 27th September 2021 at 10 in the morning. A statement by the Chief Registrar, Ogun State Judiciary, Mrs. Oluwafunke Odubanjo, adds that a guard of honor will later come up after the services at the Ogun State Judiciary Office, Kobakwe, Abeokuta. The Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit says it has information on the sale of foreign exchange to fund terrorism in the country and has launched a manhunt for the perpetrators. The unit said it had achieved some breakthroughs in recent times through intelligence gathering on the illicit transaction. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, had at a monetary policy committee meeting in Abuja last Friday, alleged that bureau de change operators were funding terrorism and kidnapping in the country. It said that they have unwittingly supported activities of those who illegally buy foreign exchange from this illegal market, carry them in aircraft out of the country, go to buy arms and ammunition and bring them back into the country and commit crimes, whether it is Boko Haram, kidnapping, or all sorts of nefarious activities. At a 3-day workshop organized in Lagos by the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, Associate Director, Intelligence and Investigation Support, NFIU, Mrs. Biola Shotunde, confirmed Emefiele's claim. She, however, did not go into details when asked the number of persons arrested in connection with the crime. As part of activities to celebrate the year 2021 Press Week, the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ogun State Information Chapel, visited Oba Ademola Maternity Center at Abeokuta to present gifts to newborn babies and nursing mothers as a way of giving back to the society. The Give Back program, which was in collaboration with a foundation, had packages which contained diapers, wipes, antiseptic disinfectants, combs, cotton buds, amongst other items, and were handed over to many of those present at the hospital. The chairman of Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ogun State Information Chapel, Akinwale Olanrewaju, who revealed that the union has always been visiting correctional and remand homes, decided to visit the hospital for this year's Give Back.
Out of whatever God has given us in the last 1 year. And that is why we have included it this year as part of our activities.
After the members of the union moved to Sa'adatu Abadiya Mosque, Leme, Abeokuta, to appreciate Almighty Allah for the success of the week. Ekiti State government has raised the alarm to keep citizens on red alert as 5 suspected cases of cholera surfaced in Mobile local government area of the state. The cases were detected by community informants who reported the same to local government health authorities. The Commissioner for Health and Human Services in the state, Dr. Oyebanji Filani, highlighted the possibility of an outbreak of the disease in some other local governments. The minister said it has also intensified action to ensure a coordinated and effective response to the possible outbreak through the provision of medical and laboratory supplies for case detection and management, rapid scale-up of risk communications and water sanitation and hygiene wash activities. The state government has consequently advised residents to be on guard, visit nearest health facilities at the slightest symptoms, and report suspected cases to appropriate authorities. A car bomb exploded at a checkpoint near Somalia Presidential Palace on Saturday, killing 8 people, police said, as the Al-Shabaab jihadist group claimed responsibility for the attack. The bombing took place within a kilometer of Villa Somalia at the Presidential Palace. A witness said the car bomb was detonated when police stopped the driver for a security check. The Al-Shabaab group claimed responsibility in a brief statement. 10 jihadist group controlled the capital until 2011 when it was pushed out by African Union troops, but it still holds territory in the countryside and launches frequent attacks against government and civilian targets in Mogadishu and elsewhere. Spanish 15-year-old Humberto Vinales has died following a multi-rider crash in the Super Sports 300 race. World Superbike organizers confirmed that the teenager suffered severe head and thoracic injuries in the incident and had succumbed to his injuries. Humberto Vinales, a rookie in the 300 class, rode for his uncle's Vinales racing team after 2 years competing in the European Talent Cup. Following the incident, the remainder of Saturday's action was cancelled. The remains of the former military administrator of Oyo State, late Brigadier General Adetunji Idowu Oluri, have been laid to rest with a charge on all mortals to safeguard wholeheartedly and live a life that is worthy of emulation. The funeral service, which was held at the auditorium of Victoria Fellowship Church, Alma Beach Estate, Lekki, Lagos, was a roll call of dignitaries who paid their last respect to the fallen hero. Gbenga Adekoya's report is presented in this package.
The auditorium of Victoria Fellowship Church, Alma Beach Estate, Lekki, Lagos, was filled to the brim for the final funeral rites of late Brigadier General Adetunji Idowu, retired, who died on August 2020 after a brief illness at the age of 76. In a sermon coupled with prayers at the service, Right Reverend Michael Oluwarumbi enjoined the congregation to always live in line with the teachings of the Holy Bible.
Thank you for the life, our brother, our father, and friend, Brigadier General Adetunji Idowu, who served you faithfully while on earth. We thank you for the family that was left behind.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, represented by the State Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Laolu Olabimton, said the death of Chief Adetunji Idowu is a colossal loss not only to Ogun State, but to Nigeria at large.
He happens to be my uncle. He's from Ilaro, where I come from. I can tell you that he was a man of his people. He loved his people, he loved his country, and he served and gave his entire life to his country. We are proud of him as an indigene of Ogun State, and that's why the government is represented here.
Some of the children of the deceased could not but give thanks to God for the life and times of their dad. Being a retired army general, there was a strong representative of the Nigerian army as they were on the ground to take the body of their late general to the cemetery. In his 27 years of service to the Nigerian Army, General Olurin served as the military administrator of Oyo State, the general officer commanding the 3 Armored Division, and the Ekomog Field Commander in Liberia. He also served as the sole administrator of Ekiti State and was a governorship candidate in the 2011 Ogun State gubernatorial elections. General Olurin is survived by his wife, Mrs. Kende Olurin, 2 sons, Bamedele and Olumide Olurin, and a grandson, Demilade Olurin.
The longest-serving personal secretary of the former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, Deaconess Maria Iyabo Akindele, has been buried. At the burial service, Christians were charged to live their lives daily by being accountable to God. The burial service took place at a residence at Obada Town along Abeokuta Ota Road. Margaret Okunlola reports.
Blessed are the dead who slept in the Lord, for they rest from their labor. So says the Holy Book. It was a glorious transition, though with mixed emotions in the air, as family, friends and colleagues gathered to pay their last respect to Deaconess Maria Iyabo Akindele. A sober moment indeed, as the preacher charged all to live a life worthy of emulation, stressing that the world is a relay race. A special prayer session was held for the family of the deceased. The remains of late Deaconess Maria Iyabo Akindele were committed to Mother Earth amidst expression of emotions by all present, with the dust-to-dust rites. Emotions transcended to what, as the deceased was described as a devout Christian and a hero worthy of emulation.
She was extremely valuable, a woman that every virtuous woman should look up forward to. Give her any assignment, she will do it well, and God-fearing too. And her death definitely is an irreparable loss.
Ẹni tó súnmọ́ mi tipẹ́tipẹ́ àjìjọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ ni
àdúrà tí máa gbà àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ méjèèjì k'Ọlọ́run kó dì wọ́n mú títí dópin kí nǹkan kan má ṣe wọ́n.
He has been all for me. We relate a lot. Even at times when everything is down, he will call me, and it has been my source of everything, my role model.
She's truly a true role model, not to even us alone, but to everyone around her. And to God be the glory. I learned a lot about her.
She's a very dedicated person, loyal person, and a very hardworking person. We are proud of her. We miss her greatly.
Deaconess Maria Iyabo Akindele was a civil servant, a devout Christian, dedicated to the service of God and humanity. Deaconess Maria Iyabo Akindele, née Ajayi, slept in the Lord on the 13th of September 2021 at the age of 54. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
May the souls of the departed rest in peace. To end the news, we bring you the words of Winston Churchill. It says, "The price of greatness is responsibility." You can watch us live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch us live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live, or email info@ogtv.com.ng. That brings us to the end of the news. Many thanks for watching. Stay with us as we bring you social and community news.